but that's not how it should be. And so when they get challenged, they feel like you're attacking me as a person. And I hope she does take your invite to come on the show. You know, I can't imagine, well, I do imagine because I got canceled before, but like I understand what it's like to have a bunch of people come at you on social media. But maybe you're wrong, Alyssa. Maybe perhaps have you considered that you're actually wrong?
When it comes to video game journalism, there's been an ongoing epidemic. There's been a battle, I would say, that started about 10 years ago with the original Gamergate, and it subsided after a while, and then it's flared up over the last 6 months or so since the Sweet Baby Inc. Nonsense started and the consultancy firms. And I think that's important to reference here is that that's where a lot of this started, where Sweet Baby Inc. came out, the consultancy firm aspect of this, the forcing of diversity, equity, and inclusion into these games, as that's what they do from that's literally their job. That's what they're hired to do. And the idea of the narrative behind that, with being that the Sweet Baby Inc. employee tried to have Cabrutus's Steam group removed and Cabrutus doxxed along the way. But when that story was reported by Kotaku and other outlets, that portion of the story was conveniently left out along the way. Am I right on that, Smash?
Yep, that is 100%.
Okay. Well, Alyssa Mercante, the writer behind the Kotaku piece about Sweet Baby Inc., tweeted this out this morning, saying that it's been nearly 6 months since my Sweet Baby Inc. report and the start of the Gamergate harassment campaign. During this time, I've been gathering info and seeking advice from lawyers, and can finally confirm that I'm moving forward with legal action against several parties for doxing, harassment, and defamation. I'm funding this myself, but we'll probably have to create a GoFundMe to help with expenses. Appreciate your support. Now, Smash, you've had a definite back and forth over the last 6 months with Alyssa Mercante, and I think that your experience with her and many other journalists have really opened your eyes to what a lot of people were seeing. The lack of a better term, I'm not going to use the word corruption, but the agenda pushed by a number of these bloggers on these websites. And there's a lot of things implied in there that with you having the back and forth, that she's probably looking to file suit against you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Can you bring that back up on the screen too, just so I can dissect it a little bit? It's very interestingly worded, how she doesn't actually give a direct threat to any specific person, and she doesn't actually say that she's specifically paying a lawyer. So you could read this as, I am moving forward with legal action, which doesn't mean anything. Moving forward with legal action means you could be going to talk to a lawyer about something. It doesn't mean anything against several parties for these random things. I'm funding this myself. But then, of course, she has to say, but we'll probably have to create a GoFundMe to help with expenses. Appreciate all your support, meaning that she's trying to turn this into a scam to make money off of people, to siphon money from her audience and grow her brand and get attention, because this is what's been working for her for the better part of the past 6 months or so. Like every time she brings up lawsuit, it gets 25,000+ views. It gets shared. She gets hearts. She gets more followers. Like this is her whole agenda with it. It actually, the first time she did it, it did genuinely concern me. And now it's kind of like a running joke. I'm like, she's not going to do anything. She doesn't. She's using this as a way to get money out of her followers. That's what I got out of reading that.
Do you feel like the term grifter, you see that term, the grifter, the right-wing grifter, right? Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of irony in there. The idea that a lot of these people use that term and they throw it out there, these grifters, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then the irony for her to turn around and be like, I'm going to need your help.
Right. The irony is all projection. Like that's literally how they operate, is what they're thinking about what they're doing is saying, oh, this is what they're doing, everyone. Give me money.
Gothics, you said you're familiar with Alyssa Mercante.
Yeah, she blocked me a while ago, which is really sad because I mean I thought the whole point was to amplify black voices, so maybe I'm just not black enough. I'm not sure.
Possibly racist, I
It's
actually
probably
think.
yeah, I think that's
You're
a little
not
bit of
black enough. You're
yeah.
not a girl enough. You're not. I
So
mean, what are these? What are her check boxes that she
I
requires?
don't know, man, but yeah, I mean, this whole thing is stupid. I think it's an intimidation tactic because these types of people that get these jobs, they should know that if you're going to report something, first of all, if you're going to report something that is half truths and you're not telling the whole story, you should expect that you're going to get criticism. And if you can't handle that criticism, you should go work at McDonald's. Like go do something else and let other people take the reins because you obviously don't know how to do your job. Like that's my view on it. And it's like this whole cancel culture thing, or like I don't know the extent of people harassing her because these individuals love to like take words and give different definitions. So that can literally just be someone tweeting at her and she thinks it's harassment. I don't know. But in any case, it's like that's your job. You should expect that. If you don't want criticism, go work in a cave.
Well, the big irony in what Gothics just said there is she is a quote unquote journalist. She should know to investigate and properly report on things. She needs to ask the tough questions, take it from a different angle, wonder what's going on, which is exactly what YouTubers are doing. And she's throwing a hissy fit that people are doing what she is supposed to do to her.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Grums also is, we invited Grums on. He wasn't able to make it today, may make it in the next couple days or so. And by the way, Alyssa is 100% invited on our show. And Alyssa has always been invited on our show until she blocked me and went into crazy racist things. With that said, she is invited to come on the show and explain this a little bit more and, kind of walk us through why she feels the need to do this. Will she accept that invitation? Absolutely not. But Grums points out over on X, Kotaku reporter who issued a fight me video challenge, has attempted to cancel and dox an entire Discord and cyberstalk dozens of accounts, is now claiming harassment and is going to sue. You're laughing, Smash.
Grums really does have a way with words, doesn't he? Like it's perfect the way he encapsulates it. I'm like, yeah. That's perfect. There's nothing I can add to that. I don't know what more to say. That's
an ego thing. I need to fight people because I can't handle criticism. I need to one up someone. It's like you don't have to. Like you can if you actually believe what you believe, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to address people. But like she can't help herself.
Well, she's such a narcissist. That
no, she is.
About her. It's all
she
about,
is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, but I think most of these left-leaning game journalists are. It's like I think they seem to think that their ideas have monopoly over the industry, and I think there is a little bit of conditioning to that. Like I think that people sort of expect that, but that's not how it should be. And so when they get challenged, they feel like you're attacking me as a person. And I hope she does take your invite to come on the show. I can't imagine. Well, I do imagine because I got canceled before, but like I understand what it's like to have a bunch of people come at you on social media. But maybe you're wrong, Alyssa. Maybe perhaps have you considered that you're actually wrong?
I think it's interesting. Gothic brings up a good point. Sorry, Craig, just real quick. How the more I cover the game industry, how it seems like the vast majority of people that are games journalists are all either left-leaning or extremely left. And it's interesting how there's no room for anything else there. And it's almost like it's a cult that doesn't allow opinions from any other perspectives. And when those come into view, they start claiming harassment or I'm offended by this, or you're attacking me, or I'm going to sue you for this, like anything but hearing someone else's opinion. It blows my mind that they can't step outside of themselves for 2 freaking seconds and be like, maybe I'm the one that's not in the right here.
Well, and you said Gothic's like the idea of, has Mercante actually taken a step back and said, well, maybe I am in the wrong here?
Yeah.
And the
Well,
answer,
go ahead.
and the answer is absolutely not, because
Yeah.
she has people telling her in her bubble saying, no, you're 100% right. Right.
Right.
And you see the responses to this. And I think this actually is a really good example of this kind of like the cult like behavior of this, right? When you you scroll down, what's the one thing that you will consistently see and hear, right?
Pronouns,
Pronouns right here. We got, let's see.
Palestine flags.
Right. Along the way, you see a lot of pronouns along the way, he, hims, they, thems.
And many work in the industry, by the way, too.
Oh,
It's
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. This is, because you're in your echo chamber. You don't, and this actually reminds me, like, to the point of how the gaming industry is like drastically left-sided. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago, the guy that created Five Nights at Freddy, he got lambasted online because he donated, I think he donated to Trump specifically or some Republican campaign, and he's also a Christian. So you can you understand the type of visceral reaction that he got from that, and it's because these types of people, they're not used to having differing opinions in the industry.
How is that even a cancelable offense? Like, it's just, if you have that perspective and you want to support it, okay, like whatever. If you want to support Biden and Harris, okay, like I'm not going to be like, oh my God, let me go to Twitter. This person donated this money to the Biden Harris camp. Who cares? Like, what? What's that have to do with anything?
And I think that's the biggest issue, Smash, is that you're willing to be open to other ideas, but they're not. And that's what you're seeing in a situation, in this situation and once again, this is somebody who has gone out of their way. Like you could very much say that a lot of these people have done the exact same thing she's accusing you of doing. The projection is real when it comes to this. But it's validated. The projection is validated by their group around them saying, yes, you go, queen, slay.
And any detractors are instantly blocked so that doesn't happen the next time she makes a tweet saying she's threatening to sue someone. So it gets amplified more and more. And mentally, I think it like deranges you more, where you're like, yeah, everyone is empowering me to keep pushing and keep doing this. It's like, no, that's just because you blocked rational thinking out of your life.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of where it's at right now. Smash, would you be surprised if you were served in this lawsuit? I mean, you've had the back and forth going, she didn't list you, but like I said, you've definitely had a squabble back and forth here.
I would be beyond shocked because there's no case. The only reason that I would be like, oh, this makes sense, is because it would further her grift into trying to siphon money out of her audience. That's like the only reason I could see it getting there. But beyond that, no, I don't think there's, like, if it came to me, I'd be like, great, that's more free content for me. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, no. Like, what are you doing with your life?
It'll signal boost you in a major way. All of a sudden,
exactly.
Smash.
Have you noticed that, by the way? Like, ever since she tried to contact my wife, that it is just blown my channel up. Like, and she keeps doing this and it keeps giving me attention. Why? Like, it's not working. Stop it. Like, I'm fine with it. Keep going. But from her perspective,
she contacted your wife.
Oh, you didn't hear?
I didn't know about that.
Oh my God, that's wild. Yeah, I'll send you a video I made on that.
No, give us the quick rundown real fast, just to kind of, because listen, that very much is like, I can't think of a better word of describing harassment, right? Like,
right. Isn't that ironic though, that she's claiming harassment when she is the epicenter of starting the harassment campaign against me?
That's crazy. Wow.
So she reached out to my wife on Facebook and wrote a very long, like, wall of text that was so unhinged that it was like someone was on some sort of like drugs. I'm like, this is not even a normal functioning human being would not write these words together. It's very strange. And I didn't even know she contacted my wife. I was just, on Twitter or whatever, and she tagged me. This is before she blocked me. And she's like, I just contacted your wife and told her what an awful husband you are and how she should be embarrassed to be with you and whatever. And I was like, what an idiot. She's crazy. And then I was like, wait, did she actually, like, my brain couldn't even process. I'm like, she really, and I got up and I'm like, I walked over to the room. My wife was in a different room, and I was like, hey, did you get any like messages from her? She's like, yeah, from this Alyssa girl. And I'm like, do you mind if I see what she wrote? She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. She's like, it's really weird. It's like someone is just like what were her words? Something along the lines of like not mentally stable. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. And she's like, who
Right.
is that? I'm like, well, she is a journalist for a somewhat major, at least formerly, public. And this is my wife, so layman's terms for her.
Right.
She
Right.
doesn't
Right.
follow the video game stuff. Like, she's a journalist for a video game website, and this is absolutely batshit insane. I can't believe she actually did this.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't understand how she's gonna say, I'm suing for harassment, ma'am.
Well, that's the other thing. I like all this stuff keeps going back to, like, anytime she tries to claim harassment, all of my videos, you can go back and watch them, are just me using her words against her. I'm just
Yeah.
like, here's what you said. Here's why you're crazy. Like, that's my video. That's basically the Cliff Notes version of what my videos entail when I talk about her. It's like, you're crazy. You wrote this. Here's why you're crazy for writing that. Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm the harasser for pointing
Well,
out your words.
Also, really quick, I find it funny that she would, like, logically, what were you expecting as a response? Your wife to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. He
Right,
is crazy.
right. Well, here's the thing that worried me about that. What if my wife and I were going through a rough patch? Or what happens if
Yeah.
there was something going on the home front where we weren't, every relationship is so perfect out there, so this never happens. But what happens if someone's going through a rough patch and that message comes through from someone, and it just gives them that extra nudge to be like, yeah, wait a second, what is going on? And that's what really pissed me off about all of it, because I'm like, she has no idea what's going on in my life. She has no idea about my relationship. She, like, to insert yourself and do that when first off, it wasn't even just, there was nothing even that happened besides me just retweeting stuff about why Kotaku sucks. That's not a justification to try to be a home wrecker,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I had no idea.
Yeah.